Awesome day, everybody. I'm Jim Fannin. Welcome to the podcast, Living in the Zone. What is the zone? That's that peak performance mindset that permeates everything that you do. It engulfs your physical being, and it helps you rise to your absolute best. The most disciplined, the most focused, the most confidence, the most calm and cool, and the most passion for doing what you do. This show is about putting that zone mindset on like an overcoat. And that's what the best do. We coach champions at Zone Coach Consulting. We're here for you. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like. And if you're a coach, you're a parent, you're a teacher, and you want to get someone else this information, make sure to share this show with someone that you care about, helping them be the best that they can be. Today's show is about momentum. How you get it, how you keep it, and how you reverse it when it's going against you. Energy. Every thought you have, and most of us have 2,000 or 3,000 thoughts a day. Each of those individual thoughts, every one of them is kinetic energy. Every thought you have is being broadcast. Energy. You can feel it. It's palpable. You can feel it this past weekend in the NFL. You can feel when the entire energy of the stadium has shifted. 40,000 people jacked up, really locked in because the Bears are looking amazing. Caleb Williams, 10 passes in a row, marched down the field with amazing momentum. First time in 4 years the Bears have scored on the opening drive. Every Bears fan, we are going to the Super Bowl, and ironically, the 85 Bears were there at halftime telling us this is how we did it and this is how we're going to do it because we have momentum. Well, you don't have momentum when you only play one game, but we had it. We had the momentum, and just like that, gone. The other team has it, and the entire stadium changes from prosperity to despair, disgust, disappointment. We'll get into who was in the zone and who's not. But today's show is about you managing the momentum in your life, momentum in your business, momentum playing weekend golf, momentum on the range that you carry it right into opening strong and finishing strong. How's the energy momentum going forward? We're also going to inspect in this show, why does it stop? Why do I get the big mo going? And just like that, a phone call, a text message, a dirty look, results that I didn't like, expectancy not meeting reality. These are the momentum killers, and the biggest killer is not always external, because sometimes the opposition changes their tactics, changes their strategy, and upends my energy, my team's energy. But sometimes it's got nothing to do with the opposition. It has everything to do with you, everything to do with how you think, how you feel, and how you react, especially when things don't go your way. 2,000 thoughts. Let's put this in perspective. At Zone Coach, we coach the elite. And I'm talking professional elite. Yes, we coach college. Yes, we coach high school student athletes. Yes, we coach Fortune 500 executives. And yes, we coach just normal individuals that aren't playing professionally or not in the Fortune 500. But the common denominator in all of our clients is they have thoughts. Do they manage them? Do they manage those thoughts? Let's go back to the beginning. 2,000 thoughts is 2,000 individual pieces of kinetic energy. You want all those thoughts flowing forward in a positive way, directed against the opposition, and directed with your own strengths of what you do the best. How is your energy management? And how many of us waste energy? How many of us throw good performances away with shoulda, coulda, woulda? Well, I could have done even better if, or but, or however. These common words, but, however, whenever, coulda, shoulda, woulda, they're all momentum killers. To live a life where you have momentum going into your 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way into 70s, 80s, I've lived that. At my age right now, I've seen myself in these energy moments where I have the high energy directed, and then something happens, a score breaker, external. And it's usually my opponent who's changed tactics or changed something to exploit one of my weaknesses. I was a tennis player, pro tennis player, coaching at the highest level, and I saw those momentum changes. I've been ahead, up a set, 5-0, and lost the match. I've done the opposite of like that, and I'm certain if you're a tennis player watching, a golfer watching, you've had the round of your life going. How many of you played the first 9 out of your mind? You literally zoned out. You were disciplined. Concentration was so present. Confident. You had expectancy. Calm and cool. Relaxed. And you're loving striking the ball solid. And you throw down a 32 in your first 9, the best 9 you've ever had, and all your buddies are going, you're in the zone. When you're aware of being in the zone, that's a score breaker. That means you're not in it any longer. And now you throw down a 38 on the back 9, shooting 70, and you're upset, ticked off, don't want to go out to dinner. That momentum, I had that with 2 of PGA players I'm coaching. I'll leave their names off. 2 guys, luckily paired together, so I can only walk 18 with 2 of my clients. I finish. 1 client's happy, 1 client's upset. You know what's crazy? They both shot the same score. They both shot 70. One had the big momentum going early, and he faltered at the end. He's ticked off. He didn't want to go to dinner with us. We planned on doing it after the round, go back to the hotel, shower, we'll go out to dinner. We'll get up and play again tomorrow. He didn't want to do it. But the other guy shot 38 on the front. He's ticked off. Got no momentum, and then he locks in, shoots 32 in the back, finishes birdie, birdie, birdie. Same score, different momentum shifts. One guy wants to go out to dinner, and the other guy's, no. I'm going. One guy says, I don't want to go. How many times has that happened to you in your sport, in your business, when you had everything going, and then you get your profit and loss statement? Oh, snap. Why is this low? Why is that low? Everything was going great until I got this report. Now, this is an old report. It's about what happened maybe 90 days ago. Maybe it's my quarterly report. But I get that report, and it takes me out of the zone right now. You control your energy. You get this energy moving forward and where you want it to go, visualizing where you want the energy to go, and then you take it there. That's a zone performance. But it can change just like that. As a matter of fact, you can be in the zone with a lot of self-discipline, a well-defined plan, total concentration where you're locked in the moment, extremely confident, expectant, even a sense of knowing, relaxation, completely. Your breathing is under 10 breaths a minute, and you're loving life. And just like that, everything can change. You know, if you look at my little S.C.O.R.E book, look right on the cover. S.C.O.R.E. Well, that's up above my head. Jim Fannin has a score level. And it's my responsibility to manage the energy to get this score level balanced at a high level. And when I do have self-discipline, concentration, optimism, relaxation, and enjoyment, all of those factors are balanced, the zone comes in, I can put it on like an overcoat. But when it's out of balance, it will drop. And it can go all the way down into the polar opposite, a depressed state. At S.C.O.R.E, at Zone Coach, we call it the downs, because it's a down time. You feel down. It's a down moment. You have low energy, and it's tough to get out of it. In fact, you can go to such an extreme, it's an attitudinal quicksand, and the more you try to get out of it, the deeper you go into despair, impatience, frustration. It could even translate into worry, anxiety, even fear. Where are you in your life? Do you have the momentum of all your energy flowing to well-defined goals, to a vision that's going to take you to a place and time in the future where you feel awesome, the best you've ever been? Momentum. You get to guide it, you get to steer it, but you also, when things go wrong, you get to put a tourniquet on the bleeding of your best. It's bleeding. Why? Because you're talking negative to yourself. Shoulda, coulda. I should have done that. You know, we could have won this thing if I would have just hit the ball solid. It was a cookie right down the middle. How many times in our lives are we right on the precipice of winning, and then one little seed of doubt changes the momentum, and the other guy picks up the money, and I go home empty? This show is about picking up the money and putting it in your pocket when the money's on the table. And in every sporting event, the money goes down on the table. Execute the basics mentally, the basics physically, the basics technically. Execute the basics over a long period of time. You're going to have a great career, and that's why clients come to us at Zone Coach to do that. To go to a place you've never been before. Why? Well, maybe you didn't think you had the talent. Go to a place you've never been before. Why? Because you backed away from it when you got close to it. It seemed so hard, but yet it was right there in front of you. Every person watching, every person listening, you've had these moments of truth, and it's all about managing kinetic energy, which means it's all about managing your thoughts. The best in the world manage their thoughts, make it simple, and get the energy flowing so they get momentum. And once that happens, all your talent rises to the surface, and everything you want to accomplish, if it's possible, it will happen. And now, let's check in this weekend. Let's see who had the momentum. Let's see who didn't. Let's see who was in the zone. Let's see who was not. I'm going to start off right off the bat. My beloved Chicago. I've been living here since 1977. Yes, I love the 85 Bears. They were there at halftime playing the Minnesota Vikings first game. But Chicago, we're not in the zone. White Sox, not in the zone. Cubbies, not in the zone. 7.5 games out. Milwaukee's kicking our fanny. Our bullpen is suspect right now. What's happening there? Chicago Sky, my goodness, it's a drama fest. They're not going to make the playoffs. And Angel Reese, she's got all kinds of stuff going on with the media. How is that going to help positive momentum going into next year? And the Bulls, I don't even want to talk about the Bulls. We expect nothing from the Bulls. Bulls haven't made any trades. They haven't done anything. Momentum, I don't see it. Chicago, come on. We're a zone city. We're a sports city. But I'm telling you right now, collectively, the Bears were not in the zone. So who else was in the zone? I got to go to Buffalo. Let's shuffle off to Buffalo because Buffalo was not favored. They were 1-point underdog to the Ravens. That's not very much, especially with Josh Allen back there pitching from the quarterback spot. But the Ravens were running up and down the field like it's a high school game. I really thought Derrick Henry was going to run for 300 yards. I couldn't believe it. He scampered around every end, through the tackles. It was shredding the offense, 150 yards plus. Don't even remember how many he had. But what happened? What happened? Josh Allen is what happened. Extremely disciplined, knew exactly what he wanted to do, what he wanted to accomplish in every position. Extremely focused. He never wavered. Even when he was down, he never wavered. Confidence? Forget confidence. This guy had more than belief. He had more than expectancy. Lamar expected to win. Derrick Henry expected to win. Josh Allen knew he could win. That sense of knowing gave him the momentum and the very end of this game to put down some unbelievable stats to absolutely take this, because they were in the jaws of defeat. Momentum totally going the Ravens' way. Josh Allen, you're in the zone. You were so impressive. Every single pass that you needed to make in the fourth quarter, you made. You made it running. You made it throwing. You were in the zone. Who else is in the zone? I got to go to one of my clients, one of my favorite clients. I coached this guy as a player. I coached this guy as a manager. And the tip of the hat, you're in the zone. Alex Cora, Boston Red Sox, 600 wins. Now you've joined Joe Cronin, who also was over 600, and Terry Francona. But Alex Cora, you're in the zone. Red Sox in the zone. Well done. I got to get a shout out. I hate to do it. I'm even grabbing my throat. The Minnesota Vikings. I got to do it. I dislike the Minnesota Vikings. I've coached against them, coaching players for the Bears, and you were getting your butt kicked in the first half. And J.J. McCarthy, you were god-awful. Let's just call it like it is. You were terrible, but not in the second half. And I'm going to blame that on coaching. I think the first 2 minutes of the second half is all on the coaches. First 2 minutes of the first half, you got the script. I'm going to execute these 15 plays, and the Bears do it. They come out, march down the field, score a touchdown, hadn't happened, got the momentum going. Hey, coach, what happened in the second half? What's the deal there? We came out flat. It didn't seem like we had a plan. They came out fired up. And all you got to do is go to the very end of the game and look in the locker room and how they were talking about themselves and how the coach was talking about, we expect to win. We don't just believe we can win. We know we can win. And this is coming from a team that I believe, were they 15-4 or 14, something crazy? They won so many games last year. This is a team that had 22 players coming back, even though they were getting punished with basically a rookie first-time starter in the NFL. And J.J. McCarthy, well done. You scored 21 points in the fourth quarter against the great Bears defense. It was shocking for a Bears fan. 27-24, you won. You had 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. And if you go back and see that rushing touchdown, see the coach on the sideline fired up. I saw more enjoyment, more emotion, more calm and cool on the Viking side than I did the Bears side. Vikings, you're in the zone, led by Zoniac, J.J. McCarthy. Well done. And now let's see what's the missing link for you. I know, and now you know, if your self-discipline is at a high level, your concentration is at a high level, your optimism, belief, expectancy, and knowing at a very high level, your relaxation also is at a high level, calm, cool, breathing under 10 breaths a minute, and your passion, enjoyment, for meeting these obstacles and overcoming any challenge? That's a zone state. Which one of these markers are missing in your business? Which one of these markers are missing in your life? Which one of these markers are missing in your sport? The interesting thing, it might be missing in business, but maybe you do have it in your golf game, and that's why you're going to win the tournament, your club championship this weekend. But right now, we're at the Zone Cafe. You choose your weakest link. Let's go. Order now. Do you need self-discipline? The willingness, the commitment to stay with a task to reach a well-defined goal. Do you need that? Take it and leave. That may help you get the momentum to get into a zone state. But maybe you have a plan, but maybe you're just struggling holding your focus. How do you lock in with your focus? Is that your missing link? If it is, improve your concentration. But maybe you need not just belief, maybe you need some J.J. McCarthy expectancy, sense of knowing. Is that what you need? If that's the case, take your optimism. But maybe you've got all three of those markers, but you worry a little bit. Your breathing's always elevated, heart rate's up, breathing's up. I have clouded reasoning. Maybe you need some relaxation when the big money is on the table during those moments of truth in a club championship, a business deal, or a tennis match, or a pickleball match. Do you need relaxation? Just aware that you need it, take it, it'll resolve it 9 out of 10 times. But last and not least on the old S.C.O.R.E link is one of my favorites. It's the end of the word score, but it's the end of the S.C.O.R.E system itself. You got to love what you do. You got to do what you love. How's your enjoyment level? You decide what you need right now, do the S.C.O.R.E check, and then check in with me. Now, if you've got a question about S.C.O.R.E, you got a question about our S.C.O.R.E system, send me a little email, askjim@zonecoach.com. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. This show's about momentum, and let's get some momentum right in to the final word. How do I keep my momentum? I've got it. How do I keep it? 1, if it's tennis, if it's basketball, or any sport, the 5-second rule. What is that? You're only as good as the 5 seconds after every shot, every swing in baseball, every shot in pickleball, every move that you make. Raise your head and don't think about what happened. Next is your battle cry. In that 5 seconds, our goal, Zoniacs, is to thread these moments into a quilt of zone performing. But after your swing, after your point, after that missed throw on an easy down and out route, if you complain about it, bitch and moan about it, grab your throat about it, be upset about it, shoulda, coulda, feel like a victim of the umpire, feel like a victim of the condition that you're in, all those things are momentum killers. Stop it. We're all awake. We're not all aware. Don't violate the 5-second rule. Put your head up after every missed shot and keep your energy flowing. And Zoniacs, you want to really keep the momentum? We got one word. Make it a big deal in your life. Next. Next point. Next swing. Next game. Next business meeting. Keep the energy flowing. You'll get the momentum. You'll get into a zone state. And now you're going to be the genuine, authentic best that you can be. Don't violate the 5-second rule. And again, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Let's go, everybody. Zoniacs, you're a different breed of cat. I'm telling you. I've coached Zoniacs for a half a century. You're not normal. You have high aspirations. You have lofty goals. And right now at Zone Coach Consulting, we're here to help you get up your own Mount Everest. You tell us where you want to go. We're going to be your psychological Sherpa to get you up there. I'm Jim Fannin. I coach champions, and I'm fired up to coach you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And I've only got one final word. Next.